So let's say you're building, so this is maybe not as simple as it, but let's say you're building some sort of language, large language model based application for the health sector. So your application is not diagnosing anyone. That would be quite tricky. But maybe it's just summarizing doctors' notes. Let's say you're some sort of digital healthcare provider is just summarizing doctors' notes into some sort of summaries that are more easily accessible, or they're in some sort of format that you want them to be. Now, people, for instance, you're deciding after some due diligence that a large language model where it can be API driven, self-hosted, whatever is the way to go. Maybe you don't want to use something more traditional. Now, there will be some issues that will come with that by default, right? So, like, spoiler alert. I think this is not, terribly surprising. Like I said, the awareness on these issues is much higher than it was before, but you will have sometimes, unfortunately, the summaries might pick up, depending on how you set up your system and what are your mitigation layers. But if you don't do much work on that, then the system will output things that are inaccurate, even though it shouldn't. There isn't that much distance between doctor's notes and the summary, but it will. You might have some privacy issues based on which supplier you decide to use. So again, that's a consideration. I think privacy is the one which is very clear to builders in the space, but unfortunately, it's kind of the one that's easiest to solve, really. And we're expecting big suppliers to open up a lot more and to solve this problem for kind of AI builders. Now, the third one, bias, is going to be much harder to address for this use case. The way bias will kind of rear its head will be by defaulting, in some cases, to stereotypes when using pronouns, when kind of inferring which subject or which condition the subject has.